God bless it. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that my ugly mug was over on the right side because I wanted your not so ugly mug. It's Fester, Raider Fester, joining us. How you doing there, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Remember, Raiders United. Raiders United. I caught the subliminal. I caught the subliminal. How you doing tonight, brother?
Absolutely. Doing well, Jack. Doing well. Hope you're doing well.
Uh yeah. I mean, I needed my nap today. And you
There you
know
go.
what? It's nice. It's nice when you can. I'm literally. I don't give a flying fuck. I played the old man card. I said when I need a nap and I've been out in the afternoon, got to do some stuff. I go home and I take a nap. And I like for about 2 hours or so, and then I get back up and I do more. Um, Ed says you're eating up to 5 bulbs a day. My goodness.
No, I'm up to 6.
Got to stop that habit. It's bad for you.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the incandescent the silver oxide is probably going to f you up. So
Yeah.
I
Well, I am a science teacher, so I'm on all over top of that. So
that is true. That is true. So you'll know exactly why you're screwed up more than just anybody else. You'll be able to say, "Hey, doc, I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night, but I am a science teacher, so I know what's actually in this stuff."
I'm screwed up and I'm screwed in.
In more ways than one. So
Exactly.
hey,
Well, I was able to chop it up. I'm not sure if you heard with Jack Kenna and the boys yesterday.
no. Were you on the WWW?
I was, yes.
Okay. I maybe no, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this on the air in case I'm wrong, but I try to. It's not what I'm going to say now. It's something that I was not going to say is what I'm going to be saying. Okay, it's good to see Jack Kenna, holding the torch and keeping things squared away for Raider Nation, and I say that, from the heart. Raider Nation is in good hands with Kenna, and so that's a good thing. That's Jack's show. That's Jack's show. I don't want to. I don't want to do any sort of what's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to be over the shoulder. I don't want to look like he's looking like it. No, Jack. That's your show, and that's good. Fuck, come on, man. I was talking with Fester before. The one time I bet the Cowboys, and they look like ass. They look like, and I like Detroit. You guys know I like Detroit. Even when I say that, I have my hat ready. I said, I bet Detroit, le campion, Detroit, Lyon, from Michigan. That. So, and they did he get? Barely gets the field goal in. God bless it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm missing one of my hats. I don't know where the fuck I lost one of my. It was my one of my Raider hats. Go ahead, bud.
So Jack, last night, which team of the 4 in the division do you think was not represented last night?
Would that be the Kansas City Chiefs?
Would be.
Yeah,
That would be. Fair weather fans. I'll say it right here. When times are going good, they're willing to be out there and thump out their chest and beat on everything and say we're the world beaters. And when tough times happen, they suck it in.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. That is true. There are a big fair weather, and I know that when I was talking with Alex on the Tuesday show, Alex, who formerly was on Wild Wild West, and Alex has his own. He's got his new family, his new kid. So he is there. And yeah, Alex is a great guy. But here's the thing: Alex is the only one. I shouldn't say only. He's one of the only Kansas City folks that are out there on YouTube. I think maybe because most Kansas City folks are so ignorant, they don't know how to do YouTube. That Midwestern, oh shucks, we get the corn cobs out and figure out with the old rabbit ears on the TV. That's just my Midwestern po-schmuck, podunk. Yeah. But Alex knows how, but that's because he's a lawyer.
Yes, yes.
And
he is good. Yeah. And again, he's I would say he is the exception to the rule.
Yeah. But there aren't too many else that I know of, because they haven't had when Alex left to do other stuff, most notably with coach defense, they didn't have anybody to come in for him. It's because they don't have a lot of people that do what they do. So it's a combination there. It's not being fair. It's like they don't have enough people to bang the drum capably that know what the hell they're talking. I got my glasses look like it's been through a mud storm. So let me see if these will make them a lot better. There you go. Okay.
So what do you want to know tonight, Jack? I'll open it up for you. So you tell me what do you want me to regale you with, or what topic do you want to do a deep dive on, or just hit all over the place?
Well, I like the word. I like regale. Those are big words. Those are big words.
Those are not Kansas City words.
Exactly. Yeah. It's true. We some players from the what? Hot Neil, Hot Neil. I have no clue what you're saying. I'm sorry, brother. If I knew what you were saying, I would expand upon it.
Well, there's only 2 players that are up in the top 20 supposedly in free agency that are on either one of those teams. Pickens is one, the wide receiver from Dallas, and we don't need that. That's not our primary need. Tua for quarterback is the other one, and I don't want any part of that. I didn't want any part of that when he first came out in the draft.
Bingo. I agree with it, and now he's even more of a wounded duck that he is now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's one hit away from eating mush for the rest of his life.
In more ways than one. I would say this. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And Ed, I'm gonna put that up for all people to see. I'm not commenting further. Well, I for those who can't read it, I'll have to read it. And you know what, Fester, can you read that for me? Because this way it's not coming from my list.
Ed Winchell says, and again, this is from last night, I take exception to Richie and Charger Dude telling me what needs to be done to fix the Raiders. Please save it.
Yeah. Anyway, I like that as well.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, that's something that all of Raider Nation is saying. And if you follow football at all, it's not hard to see it. It's really not hard to see it. I think people
are they at least, because I don't watch the show. I don't watch the show. Is any of what they're saying on the nose, or is it just what is it? Like trying to put the screws to a type of insight.
No, I really got the impression that they believe that the NFL is better, and we've talked about this numerous times. The NFL is better when the Raiders are good. When the Raiders are good, it really ratchets up the rivalries between lots of teams, and teams can get geared up for playing the Raiders like no other, like they used to back in the day. Now it's just, oh well, we're playing the Raiders. We're going to Vegas. It's not really a big deal. The Shield is still popular. The Shield still drives the fan base, but there's just not that oomph there anymore. We need to get that back. I remember back in the day, and this has been only a couple of years, where we used to own the Broncos. We would play the Broncos every year, twice a year, and we would get those wins, two wins a year. We usually get at least a split with the Chargers, regardless of what we did against the Chiefs. So we could usually end up 3-3 within the division, or close to it. But it's been hard times the last couple of years. But I think genuinely From what I get, Kansas City notwithstanding, because there wasn't anybody to represent, I think genuinely everybody wants the Raiders to be better. They want this to be a point where they can really get fired up because, again, last night with the Raiders-Broncos game coming up, there would be a lot of talk. There'd be lots of chatter. Back in the day, I remember the players would just be chirping at each other and coaches and everything else. It's just not the same right now.
Yeah, the Shield and the Mystique, and I know you meant Mystique. The Shield and the Mystique is one thing no team can take away from us. I agree with that. There is nothing like the Raider Mystique. But the Raider Mystique now, and this is me, this is a Raider fan saying this, the Raider Mystique now is the sale of the Shield. Because the Mystique is from bygone days. It's from people watching YouTube, watching Jack Tatum and George Atkinson hitting, Tatum hitting Earl Campbell when there was an Oilers team. It's Atkinson tearing ass against receivers. Then you even go, and that's Mystique, right? You can even go to like Hayes and Haynes. That's Mystique. There is no lore of the Mystique anymore because the Raiders have been so horrible. And remember, I'm not going to use that S word until we are officially worse than what we were last year. When there's no way in hell, and you can tell you're a science guy. I'm sure math is something you can do. When we cannot get 4 wins, please let me know, because then I will use the S word, because I'm not going to use it until then. I know we are bad. We are horrible. We are a dumpster fire. We are a bunch of adjectives. But until we are, not theoretically, but legitimately worse than last year, I won't use the S word. And now I'm not saying that we're shitty, because we are shitty too, but that's not the S word I'm talking about.
Jack, we are legitimately worse than last year.
Oh, I know that, but not officially. Not officially. I know it, and you know it, and until the record proves that we are. That's what I'm saying. Until the record.
I'm going to give you a stat. I'm going to give you a sad stat here. I'm going to allow me to sad sack here. This is a stat that you probably already know. The Raiders have played 12 games, so still got 5 games left. The Raiders have scored 20 touchdowns this year. The Raiders have given up 25 sacks in the last 4 games. They've given up more sacks in the last 4 games than they've scored touchdowns the entire season.
Yeah. That's
a sad stat. That's a sad stat.
That is a sad stat. I do want to interject before we go. You hold the hoses on more crap. I'll say that. Right. You said you wanted me to talk about something that's positive.
Yes.
I'm going to say something positive.
Got it.
The retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, who has not been.
By the way, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. I didn't give that to get that, but I do appreciate that. But because what I'm setting up is this: the retired Navy Chief Petty Officer who has not been on any. I'd have to think any. I might have. I think I know. I haven't even been on a ferry. I don't think I've been on any naval vessel of any type. I can't remember being on anything that floats since I retired. I retired in 2006. So so it's been 20 years.
Oh, okay.
I might have been on something that was tied up for like a museum. Oh, yes, okay. I was on the USS Midway in San Diego, we did the tour of the museum, the USS Midway. So technically, I have been on a ship since I retired, but it wasn't underway. It was tied up. And that is the only time that I can remember me being on anything that was a naval ship, a naval vessel, a boat, a tugboat. Even I don't even have a bathtub that has little rubber duckies in it. There's nothing seagoing that I've been on or with me for a while. This is my point. I have made plans to go on, and let me get this correct. It's not the Raiders cruise. Nay. It's not the Raiders cruise. It is a cruise that Jeff and Anita Barnes do for charity each year. That cruise has spots available. And if you want to have, and this is the best thing, if you want to have a balcony cabin, which is cool, because every time I've been on a ship, there's always been walls between you and the outside, okay? I have never been on a ship that has windows. Never. I have made arrangements to, why is it stopped? Did I push something? Oh, okay.
Watching the game?
Yeah, it stopped on me. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, key moment stats, go live. Hey, okay, live. Okay, yeah, I'm pushing it again. Watch live. I don't know why it stopped on me. There it is.
Gary's up in the press box. That's why.
Yeah. Is it? Okay, so it's now. Is it like first down after a holding call by Skipper? Am I up to date?
That sounds about right.
Okay, good. Anyway, what was my point? Oh, I, Captain Jack, have made my arrangements to go to have a cabin side, double occupancy room on the Forenza, which is a Carnival cruise out of Long Beach. The Forenza for less than $1,000.
Okay.
Less than $1,000. Okay. If you want a cabin for like $968, now granted, booze is on you. Booze is extra. But food and all the other accommodations, that's paid for, which is one of the things that I was bitching about with the Raider cruise. I'm like, I'm not paying a bunch of extra fucking money for booze when I don't drink.
Right.
I'm not doing it. So for a double occupancy, which means two people in a cabin with a window and I looked the ship up, it's like less than 3 or 4 years old. Okay. Yeah, Ed, I know if the closer to the bow you are, that means you get all of the brunt.
Yep. I've been there.
Ooh. I literally just threw up in my mouth a little bit. It wasn't what you were saying. I had like a hic burp. But
gotcha.
That's what it was. But anyway,
those don't leave you either.
No, and it's the acid reflux. I don't usually get that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't have. Maybe I can talk to the lady. I said I want something midships to stern. In fact, I will do that if they can do that. I don't know.
Unless they throw a Raiderette in there with you.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. But yeah, so if you want to, and this is what I'm hawking. If you want to be on the cruise with Jeff Barnes, Frank Hawkins, Jerry Robinson, Kenny King, there are 4 right there. 4 Raiders going away from Long Beach down to Ensenada and return on a Friday. I think it's Friday. I think it's May 15th. Friday, May 15th through the May 18th. I think that's the right. On the Carnival ship Forenza next year for less than $1,000, double occupancy. I'm trying to put the information up. Let's see here. And you don't have to pay for
that
it
up. While you're pulling that
Go
up,
ahead.
I will tell people this. If you have never heard a Jeff Barnes story or Jeff Barnes tell a story, it is worth it.
And we just had him on a little while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to get the here. Yeah, still getting that reflux. Oh boy. Here's the point. Yeah, May 15th through 18th. No, boy. I'll have to do this in little waves.
We're gonna have to get you a bucket.
Bring me a bucket. Bring me a bucket. Okay. Carnival Cruise. Whoop. Forenza. I have to pull it up in little bits and pieces. Double. My friggin' microphone is in the way. W occupancy for is $980. And it's a cabin. Was it like a what do you call the cabin? It's a cabin with the windows. There's a name for it.
What do you call that?
It's
not a suite. I mean, it's
there's a name for it.
Do they call that a balcony? No.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Balcony cabin.
Okay.
Balcony cabin. Contact me or contact, and I will give you her information. Oh my goodness! Is it? I might have to go back to. Go ahead and schwitz. Go ahead and schwitz while I pull her information up.
Okay.
Continue to talk.
So while you're doing that, I've already got my eyes on the 2026 draft.
While I'm doing that,
not too early to be doing that. Not too early to be doing that. But now there's been a lot of talk,
right,
about a young quarterback out of Indiana. You probably heard lots of talk about him. Named Mendoza. And I've heard lots of talk about this guy being a franchise quarterback and being the quarterback of the future. And to that, and going back to what you said many times, nay, 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 nay. I caution people that when you throw all your eggs in one basket and you don't do what you need to do, and that's build up the offensive line, you're going to end up right where the Tennessee Titans are. And they drafted number 1 overall, and they drafted their quarterback, and they have an even worse record than the Raiders. The reason why is because you've got to build up everything before or as you're bringing in your quarterback. So here's my ideal world. And again, I'm throwing it out there now. This is December 4th, 2025. This is way before the end of the season, so we don't know what the draft order is. And of course, it's about 5-6 months away from the draft. So here's my ideal thing. As soon as the regular season is over, we need to go ahead and hopefully Spytech will be the one making the decision on this, because Mark Davis needs to decide who's running this team. If he decides that Pete Carroll truly is running this team, the Raiders are in trouble. And that trouble is not going to end. So Spytech needs to be the one to make the call. Who is he going to bring in as head coach? My choice, and I think a lot of people are in agreement with me on this, is Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
only way that Joe Brady is going to come in is if he is convinced that the team is going to be building, the team is going to be adding pieces that it needs, and it's also going to bring in a dynamic young quarterback. Now, that dynamic young quarterback may or may not be the long-term solution. It may not be, but you have to worry about building up the offensive line as well. So here's my proposal. Here's my proposal. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can pull the trigger on Cody Linderbaum, the center for the Baltimore Ravens. I've already heard that they're not picking up his option, and the decision is whether they're going to franchise tag him or not, or whether they're going to be able to afford to bring him in, or whether they choose to go ahead and just draft somebody else as his replacement. So if they can do that, if they can bring him in, he's only 26 years old, so he's still got a lot of good ball left in him. He's already a proven talent. You do that, and you also spend the money that you have to bring in, and we talked about this last week, Jack, Rasheed Walker, not Wallace, Rasheed Walker.
Wallace wouldn't be a bad pickup, though. I'm telling you, he wouldn't be a bad pickup.
So Rasheed Walker, the offensive tackle for the Packers. Now you have two prime offensive linemen to start to retool that offensive line. Meredith is gone. I think Colt Miller's gone. I think his best days are behind him, and now he's starting to get injured. He's already got a lot of money. I think it's time to move on from him. He may still have some ball left in him, but in my opinion, you have to go ahead and turn the page. Maybe you move DJ Glaze over to the left side. Maybe you do that already and see what you have with the rest of the crew. Again, you've got JPJ. If you have Dylan Parham and you got DJ Glaze, again, that's three carried over from this year. You add those two premier free agents, get rid of Kappa, say goodbye to him, and then
Yeah.
you've got a good nucleus there to begin with. Now, here's what I do in the draft. Here's what I do in the and thank you for putting all that information for the crews up there, Jack. I hope the
I'm
people take
looking.
advantage of that because again,
I'm looking for Erica's number. Get a hold of me,
uh,
and it's got to be quick, folks, because these will, and I'm going to keep that up for a while. Raiders, Legends, Cruise. Okay, I'm
yeah,
going, and you don't have to pay for it all at once. All you need is a deposit of $200. A $200 deposit to keep you plus one in for the cruise. Now I got to get to Long Beach. That'll be the expensive shit. But
right.
at least I know I can get to Long Beach.
Or just
Go
take
ahead.
an
Go ahead.
overnight flight on standby.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah,
what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to LA and I'm going to stay with Vicky for the
yeah.
night, and then I'll have Vicky figure out how far away Long Beach is. But yeah, because Vicky is a friend of the show. And I'm not so
Okay.
sure on that. Big mistake. I'm not sure. Go ahead. Go ahead, Fester.
Okay. So, having my GM hat on, we've already gone ahead and retooled the offensive line. I would try to bring in an edge rusher as well, but I think the main capital that we need to spend has to be on offensive line and offensive line. We need to bring not one but two people in to shore that up. Let's make the obvious weakness of this team a strength. Let's go ahead and turn that around. Then I don't think it really matters as much who you bring in as a quarterback. Now, having done that, if you bring those two pieces in before the draft, now you can swing for the fences. And here's what I would do. I've heard three names. I've heard the Alabama quarterback, I've heard the Oregon quarterback, and I've heard the Indiana quarterback. And I've heard that they could all go within like the top 3 or 4 picks in the draft. And to that, once again, I say, don't do it. Do not do it. Any of those three guys would be good, but if you don't draft and you don't build up that offensive line, it doesn't matter who you put in there. Kyler Murray is a prime example. Kyler Murray's a prime example. He was a number one draft pick. And what have the Cardinals done since he's been in there, other than he's running for his life and doing things just to keep himself from getting killed? They haven't done anything. You have to build up those lines. So here's what I would do. assuming that the Raiders end up with the top 4 pick, which is looking very well right now that they might, regardless of what teams may jump ahead of them to get quarterbacks, I would aim for an offensive tackle for the first pick. Now, you and I talked about offensive line last year, and of course, they didn't listen to us. They
Right.
didn't listen to what we were saying. Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle out of Utah, Francis Malgoa, the massive offensive tackle out of the University of Miami, and Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. Those are all 3 highly rated offensive tackles. They're all right there. I think any of those would be instant starters pretty on most any offensive line in the NFL. But again, now you're looking for somebody who is going to be a day one starter. You're not going to have to do a lot of the kid gloves things that you would with a rookie quarterback. And there you go. There's your first pick. Now, in my opinion, the Giants from last year's draft, they did it right. They drafted the top defensive player for the number 3 overall pick, and then they traded back up into the first round with the 25th pick, and they got a quarterback on a
Right.
rookie deal, which I think is what you do. So if you get that offensive lineman, one of those 3 guys that I mentioned, you can trade back up into the back end of the first round, probably 24, 25, 26, and end up with either Lenoris Sellers, the quarterback out of South Carolina, or the guy I'm like, who is John Mateer, the guy out of Oklahoma, who has a lot of upside. He reads defenses well. He's a good, solid quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback. He's a taller quarterback. He's not real tall, but again, he's taller than what the Raiders have right now. And plus, he's got the youth and the mobility. I think Joe Brady would jump on board if he had 2 premier offensive linemen in the free agency, and then the commitment to draft 1 or 2 offensive linemen within the first 2 to 3 picks of the draft and bring in a young quarterback as well. Now, again, a guy like John Mateer may or may not be the long-term solution. And again, quarterbacks that have been drafted in the last couple of years, it's been proven. And Anthony Richardson, your guy from Florida, is a prime example. He was picked up in the top 5 by the Indianapolis Colts 2 years ago, and he's not even seeing the light of field right now. But Indianapolis is having a good run. They're going to be a playoff team. They figured it out, but it didn't kill them. Drafting a quarterback in 2023 on a rookie deal didn't kill them. They swung for the fences. It didn't work. You know what? They built up the rest of their team, and they made it work. That's what the Raiders can do as well. If you bring in a rookie quarterback, but don't pin all your hopes on him. Everybody's saying, oh, we need to draft a guy in the first or second or third overall pick, and he's going to be the savior of the team. No, he is not. Nobody that the Raiders bring in as a quarterback in picks 1, 2, 3, or 4 is going to be the savior of this team. And until people get that into their heads, they have to understand that the Raiders need to build this team the right way. And the right way to build it is to build up the offensive line through free agency, then get the top rated offensive lineman in the first highest pick of the draft, trade back in, get a young quarterback, and then with the very next pick, go back to offensive line and do that again. We've already got some good offensive pieces on this team. Those pieces can't operate until we go ahead and give the machine some grease. You got to grease the machine to get it to work. Right now, that machine's not working. It's metal on metal right now. There's no cogs that are moving. It's all grinding to a halt, and we see that. And the only way we can change that is to build from the inner to the outer. You and I have talked about this many, many times.
Yeah,
I
and
wish
I
the Raiders would listen to us.
Yeah, and except for, and I want to predicate this. Remember when the when the Texans went back to back, and they picked Stroud and that defender, which is like, and I think it was picked with picks 2 and 3, correct? I think.
Will Anderson.
Right, and they picked Anderson first. They picked Anderson with pick 2, and then picked.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So they picked Anderson, and they had back-to-back picks, so it didn't really matter. I think the way that they picked Anderson because when their agents would go, so my quarterback was the number 2 pick. No, your quarterback was number 3 pick. So they lessened the money on the scale a little bit. So I think that's why they did what they did. I will say this: depending upon how high the Raiders are picking in this draft, and what the guys that go to Indianapolis, what they are rated in Indianapolis. Because I agree. I think the first 3 picks for the Raiders, pending them having the number 1 pick, and then I'll throw this all out the window. If they have the number 1 pick, I'm taking the kid from Ohio State at edge. That's what I'm taking with the first pick. I'm taking that kid from Ohio State with edge to pair him with Crosby, because then you build up something that is a blatant need for the Raiders in the defense, is that you have somebody that you can go on the outside of Crosby. And they were trying to do that with Tyree Wilson. They were trying to do that with Coons, and it didn't pan out. So now you got that edge guy that can go with Crosby. And this guy is kind of like, he's of the Khalil Mack mold. He's an edge linebacker type. He's one of those guys, like a Micah Parsons guy. He's on the edge, and he can stand up too. So that's the guy. And I forget what his name is. But if we have the first pick, or if we have the second pick, and whoever is at number 1 is stupid enough not to take that guy, that's who I'm taking. So if that doesn't happen, then this is what I want. Depending upon how these quarterbacks look at the combine, and I'm talking about all the measurables, all of the skills, the when they sit down with them, because that's very important. What makes them tick, the mental capacity stuff. I want the first 3 picks, and I don't care the order, depending upon what happens with the quarterbacks in Indianapolis. I've come off that a little bit, but I want to have a quarterback, a really awesome tackle. And the reason why I say tackle is because I think that we got Grant, we got Glaze, we got a tackle that we can build on, which means we got 3 tackles. And I haven't even said Miller's name yet, because I don't know if Miller's going to be here, or if he's going to be all that in a biscuit anymore. But we also have Rodgers, and we have JPJ if he doesn't, go off again. And remember, Glaze can play guard too. So there's that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't really care. I want to get the tackle first. I want a quarterback. And again, it depends on what their combine results are. And then I want another offensive lineman. And like I said, if we get the center, from the Ravens, that's great. If we don't get the center, I want the best center in the draft. And I don't want to sound like I'm a homer, but Slaughter out of Florida is looking like a beast.
Absolutely.
He is looking like a beast. And that's not me being a homer. That's me knowing that he is a quality offensive lineman. So if you go
in fact, Jack, he is listed as among the top 5 offensive linemen in the draft.
Okay, then that's what I want to do, and I want it all done in the first and second round. And by the way, if you got to jump back and get the guy, I'm saying fucking go for broke this draft, this offseason. This free agency period, I'm sick and tired of fucking around. The old fuck around and find out. No, I'm tired of fucking around and finding out. I want to do it. I want to go. Well, I'm Vegas, baby. I want to go all in on this draft and this free agency. And by the way, By the way, Ed, I'm not sure if losing Pete Carroll wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Okay. Pete has not showed, and remember, and I'm not going to paint this as revisionist history. I wanted Pete Carroll when he was available because he was the best coach available at the time. I made a mistake on that, and I admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. Pete Carroll was the best coach available at the time, and I said, give me Pete Carroll. I don't want this kid that eventually went to the Bears. Well, you know what? That kid is, throw a fucking flag. Oh, I forget. I'm rooting for the Cowboys on this one. Shit, never mind. Don't throw a flag. But it was a flag. But that's what I want. And if it's Joe, what's his name? Joe. What the fuck is the guy's name? The guy that you want?
What?
The
John Mateer.
John? No. For the coach.
Oh, Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. Yeah. See, there's a lot of Bradys floating around this organization. Possibly. I don't know if I can stomach that. But yeah, Joe Brady would be a good possibility. And people, and the only reason why I say this about the Pete Carroll thing is, if this is true, and again, this is conjecture via clickbait, that Pete even fucked with Chip Kelly's offense, making Chip Kelly run Pete Carroll offensive bullshit. And I read that, I'm like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
Why was that, Jack? Why was that? I'll tell you the reason why. Because Chip Kelly was not Pete's guy. Chip Kelly was already selected, and then Pete was forced into saying, okay, have Chip Kelly run your offense. That wasn't Pete's choice.
I know that.
Together.
That was Tom
Brady together. That was Tom everybody Brady's throwing choice. Things together. Yeah. And again, you've got a guy barking into Mark Davis's ear who's only a part-time. He doesn't have a vested interest in this. He may say that he does, but Tom Brady's doing this from his perch in the press box. He may know some players. He may have kind of an idea of things, but he doesn't have a vested interest in the success of the Raiders. He may say that he does, but he doesn't. I think those of us who can take a step back and take a look at this understand that. He may know players. That's great. Michael Jordan knew players, but he was not an executive of any sort. He was horrible. And again, it doesn't matter how good a player you are. That doesn't equate to being any type of good in terms of managing from the other side. You can't do it. Tom Brady hadn't showed me jack shit, excuse my French, from anything from a managerial side, other than the fact that he knows a lot of people. He may be able to talk credibly from the press box about things, but okay, I'll give him that. But Tony Romo does as well. Tony Romo does as well, but I wouldn't put Tony Romo in charge of my franchise.
Well,
I think Mark Davis is listening too much to Tom Brady, and he's in love with this narrative that this guy who's been to 10 Super Bowls is going to just magically, suddenly turn this Raiders franchise around. That's not the guy. Now, if he has trust in Spytek, let Spytek make the choices. Let him pick who the next coach is going to be.
I was just going to say that. The one thing that Brady has brought into this club, two things that Brady brought into this club was Spytek, Chip Kelly, okay, and remember, Brady brought in Geno Smith, so that's his fuck up. Mm-hmm. Because even Pete Carroll wanted to go per sources that know things. I'm not just throwing this out like the wall because I hear shit and it sounds good. Per sources that are very well maintained amongst the knowledgeable in the building. I'm not saying he's a Raider insider that doesn't work for the Raiders. I want to make sure I say that correctly, okay? Brady brought in Geno Smith, not Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll wanted Sam Darnold and was talked out of it because of Brady. Brady brought in Chip Kelly, but as you say, Chip Kelly wasn't Pete's guy. So basically he said, oh, you're going to saddle me with this guy, and they both don't get along. Said, okay, you're my offensive coordinator, but I want you to run offensive plays like this. And that fucks it up.
That was a forced marriage that was never going to work.
Yeah. So we don't know how bad or good this offense could have been had Pete Carroll just let Chip Kelly leave it the fuck alone and let Pete run defensively and let Chip run the offense. We don't know because Chip's gone. And by the way, we're seeing the third iteration of Greg Olson, who at least on 2 drives, the Raiders looked good. The rest of the time, they looked like ass against the Garglers. And I only saw a little bit of the game. I said I got to Atlanta by halftime. I heard the touchdown, the first touchdown. I saw, actually, I didn't really see the second touchdown because I was talking with the Atlanta Black Hole Club, so I didn't really see this. I don't even remember who it was. Was Bowers the one that scored the second touchdown with the incredible catch? Okay, yeah. So that was all Bowers. That wasn't fucking Gino doing that. So anyway, if Pete Carroll shows me that he is a problem, and he is a problem because he brought his 2 fucking fucktwat sons into the mix, and they're not doing anything, Pete's a problem. I'd take Joe Brady to change this over and say, Joe, and by the way, that's Spytech saying, Pete, you need to retire. Or Mark needs to tell Pete, you don't want to quit, that's fine. Just retire. Just go home and take your sons with you. Because that'll help out a lot.
I'll go one step further than that. I would have Mark pull John Spytek into his office and say, okay, John, look me square in the eye and tell me what you want to do as far as the head coach goes. Look me in the eye and tell me what you want to do. And if Spytek says Pete needs to go, don't even give him the option. Just say, look, you're done. The general manager of the team has decided that needs to go a different direction, and you're done. Now, if you want to do it behind closed doors and say, okay, Pete, we're going to give you the option. You can either retire or you're fired. And then we can glom it up that way. That's fine. But that conversation needs to happen. Mark Davis needs to sit John Spytek down in his office and say, look me directly in the eye and tell me, what are you going to do? This is your call. This is not my call. This is not Tom Brady talking into my ear. This is not me listening to the fan base. This is me looking at you and saying, I'm putting my trust in you to direct this Raiders team in our rebuild, because that's what it's going to be at that point. We have to say, and we have to acknowledge to the fan base and to the league that this team is in a rebuild. We can't say 2 things at once. We can't say we're in a rebuild and say, oh, we're going to bring Pete Carroll in and he's going to win 8 or 9 games this year, simply because he doesn't have losing seasons. That was a fool's gold. That was a false bill of goods that was sold to the Raider Nation as well as to the league. And again, I bought it. I'll admit. I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. I thought that maybe he could double the win total and pull us up to 8 wins during the year. I really believed that he could with the pieces that we had. And if we'd stayed healthy, as we were in the first game of the season, and again, if you told me that 13 games into the season, the Patriots had only lost 2 games, and one of those 2 games was to the Raiders, I would have told you you're absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that conversation needs to happen. Hopefully Spytek has the right answer. Hopefully Mark Davis will jump behind that. And whether Pete understands or whether he doesn't, whether it's sour grapes or whether he understands that his time is done, he needs to pack it up and pack up the suitcases of his 2 weakest link sons and head for wherever.
Yeah. I need to address some. Jimmy Farrell, I do not have a sponsor. Those are ads that YouTube runs. They're not my sponsors. Those are YouTube ads. I don't get a lick of that money. Technically I do. I think I get maybe a point, a penny or a 0.5 of a penny every time it runs. And then every 2 months I get like $50 because I am monetized. I am monetized, but I don't have a sponsor. So you are incorrect, sir. I don't have a sponsor. My channel is monetized. I do not have a sponsor. There's a big difference. Go ahead.
For those of you who are interested, the score at halftime right now is Lions 20, Cowboys 9. So Jack still has a chance to make his money back.
Well, let me see. Let me see what the cash out is now. It was 30. I'm sure it's probably going to be maybe 15. Let me see. And remember, I am not a degenerate gambler. Let's see here. My bad. I say degenerate. Okay, my early cash out right now is $17. So I would lose what, 23?
Yeah.
I could lose 23 or I can lose 50.
Just hang in there for right now. You never know.
Yeah. We'll see.
Couple of turnovers could turn things around.
Right. Now I did wager the Texans to win. And that I'm going faith on the defense on that one. I did wager the Jaguars to win. And by the way, if the Texans win, I would make $75 in addition to my wager. If the Jaguars win, I would make $52 in addition to my wager. And I would and if the Bengals take the money or take the points, I would double that from 20 to 40. So, because I know that I'm going to lose the Raiders to reach the playoffs. I don't know why this isn't just ended yet, because they're out of the playoffs. But I lost money there. Ashton Genty to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, that doesn't look like a good thing right now. And regular season wins 6.5. I get, how many games you got left? 5. Okay, so that technically will be a loss when we lose our next game.
Right, and then you have 4 games left, so they could still win 4 games and end up with a 6-11 season. So that would still be under the win total.
It would be over. It's not over 6.5. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So,
Anyway,
I don't know why they
lose this week. They could win out and still
be 6 and 11.
Be the under. So Jack, here's my fantasy. Here's my fantasy. Okay, the clean one, the one that we can talk about on the air. Okay, all right. So I was
just saying, watch this, because I get accused of running a dirty show.
Okay, no, this is
Big
clean. This is
Big
clean.
So I got to show this real quick. Remember, Big E, come on and join me on a cruise, brother. Go ahead, brother.
So here's my fantasy.
I want to make sure I get Biggie Brock. There's your fantasy. Yeah. Okay.
So the Chiefs are either already eliminated from the playoffs or are right hanging by a thread. Last game of the season. The Raiders sell out.
The Raiders need to win.
The Raiders
need to win to get them out of the playoffs.
They bring all the black into the stadium, and everybody brings signs to the stadium that says, "We're going home, and you're going home."
You. I like that.
That's my fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and then beat the hell out of them.
Yeah. Well, hey, what's that old, very, very proper, smart person said? Just win, baby. 1 point is as good as 20 points, is as good as 100 points. It's a win. Just win, baby. That's mine as well.
I want to demoralize them, though. I want it to be the point where they actually pull Mahomes from the game, head between his legs, and they bring somebody else in as a backup to finish up the game. That's what I would love.
Remember who their backup is.
Mm-hmm.
It's Booger Minshew. I want to see Booger Minshew, but I want to see Booger Minshew because I want to see Mahomes. God, I'll be people. I don't normally say that I root for injuries, but I want to. How about I want to see Mahomes knock the fuck out, not injured, but knocked the fuck out.
No, I would rather see the Raiders just torch Kansas City and then have them pull him from the game and see him leave the field in frustration, knowing there's not a damn thing he can do to put the team on his back to get them to the playoffs or anything else. See him walk off the field and see all the fans jeer at him and say wave goodbye to him and sing to him and watch that frog explode. Watch him just explode.
And Big E is correct. We've both been saying if the officials would just stay out of the fucking games and let the Broncos play to their natural ability, they'd be a 500 team, maybe a little better. And that's coming to fruition. You are correct. Big E, we've been saying it for years. We've been saying it for years. And I'd like to have Kermit, Darlene Mahomes out of the games a lot earlier, for sure.
They've just been playing bad enough this year to where even the refs can't save them.
Yeah. They've been trying at times, though. They have gotten a little bit of sparks of bullshit trying to save them.
I hope that for my New Year's wish, that's what I wish.
I wish for that too. And Biggie, since we do got you here and thank you for popping in, Biggie, what is your prognostication there? I'll throw a big word in there. What is Big E's prognostication to the Raiders Broncos game on Sunday? Because I got a Big E Bronco fan to do it, because I know Tommy's going to give him, or excuse me, Fester. Pardon me for not calling you by your real name.
I go by lots of names.
Yeah,
not all of them are repeatable.
Yeah, true.
I'll give you mine while we're waiting for Biggie. I'll give you mine.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, here's my prediction. Close game at half, 10-10. Then it gets out of control.
Yeah, that's about normal.
And I say the final score will be 34-10. So
wow.
So 10-10 at halftime, 34-10 final.
Okay, well here's something else, and I haven't even hit upon this yet. I was told by one of my friends that actually called me up. And by the way, Ed Winchell does keep with me a lot. He does. He's very adept. You know, I hear from Ed like maybe every couple days. I hear from other people regularly. I hear from Tommy at least one. Tommy, aka Fester, aka T3. I hear from him at least once a week.
I think Ed, Matt, and Jack are your three.
Jack. Well, I'm talking about via the phone.
Okay.
Via the phone. But give us a loss not to go 11 straight wins. So that I think that's something that you think I tell you, if I would have more, oh, you fucking piece of shit. And I like the Lions. I like the Lions, but not tonight. Not when I got money on them. Not when I got money on the Cowboys. No.
Did they just score again or got it?
Well, Dak got intercepted and it ran back deep. Okay. Oh, it was the tip. It was a Geno Smith type interception. It's a tip up, and the guy gets it. You know, I said Geno is not the greatest quarterback, but it. Oh, by the way, Amick Robertson was the guy that made the ball tip up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's a Geno Smith interception, a Geno Smith type interception, care of Amik Robertson, the former Raider. 2 turnovers for the Cowboys tonight, none for the Lions. Lions are at the 16-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, 14. Yeah. Okay, Dallas 14. So like I said, and I like the Detroit. I do normally, but I have money on the Cowboys time. But anyway, what was I saying about what the fuck was I talking about, Tom? I was talking about
we're talking about the game coming up.
the
Denver
game.
And,
yes.
Raiders.
Yeah, I like I said that I don't have any. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I was told by somebody that the Raiders might actually be playing Kenny Pickett and Cam Miller this week. I want to see it.
So do I.
I want to see it. There's your touchdown. Now it's 27-9.
Yeah.
So yeah, that cash out just became a lot smaller.
Yeah. That's I had some hope for you there, Jack, but nope, not gonna be.
Yeah, thank you, Amik Robertson, for making me lose money. But yeah, that's why they call it gambling. But anyway, I just thought the Cowboys have been playing. They've been playing pretty well, taking out the Eagles and the Chiefs successively and looking good doing both. So, yeah. Captain, do you guys actually want your team to win, or do you rather have a higher draft pick? So Biggie, we actually are talking about not the best quarterback with the higher pick. We're talking about, and I'm going to bring you up to date. Okay, bring you up to date is the fact that we want the best offensive. I'm going to go tackle, and then best offensive interior lineman, guard or center, in the first 2 rounds, but trade up for a quarterback, so you get a tackle, quarterback, interior offensive lineman, 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. So I think that basically I want the team to start gelling, look respectable, and lose. And I hate saying that. I hate saying.
Well, again, even if they win a couple of games, I think they're still going to end up either in the 4th or 5th spot. The Titans, I think, are going to trade out of that first spot. And here's the reason why. The Titans need a lot more. They've already got their quarterback, and there's going to be a team that will trade up to their spot. It's probably either going to be the Saints or the Jets to get that number 1 pick. And the number 1 pick right now is looking like the guy out of Alabama. He looks like he's probably going to be the top pick. Now, again, I could be wrong. Mendoza out of Indiana is getting a lot of Ty Shelton, I think his name is. I think he's he's getting a lot of burn right now. And I think part of that is because of the program that he's with. That big A has a lot of pull. And again, a lot of people have been drafted from the big A because of that big A. Now Mendoza may be the better pick, but I think the Jets will probably trade up. If the Jets can get the first pick, I think Mendoza's the guy they're going to pick. If the Saints end up with the number 1 pick, I think that the guy out of Alabama is going to be the guy that they'll pick. But I think you very well could end up with the Saints or the Jets with the first pick, and then the other one at the number 2 pick. Titans would then fall down to number 3. Because I think they'll trade down out of that first pick position because they've already have their quarterback, and they need a lot more pieces. And I think them trading back is not going to hurt them as much as I think the other teams would believe that moving up to the number 1 spot would benefit them. Now, again, the Raiders would still be at either 4 or 5, maybe, but that's not going to alter their position in terms of drafting a top-rated offensive tackle.
Right.
So they could very well have their pick of the best 3, or at least 2 of the best 3.
And like I said, the Raiders need tackle, quarterback, interior offensive lineman. We do need that. But we also need to see what we got with Rodgers, what we got with Grant.
Mm-hmm.
We already know what we got with Glaze. I mean, Glaze will be a year 3 guy next year, along with JPJ when he comes back.
If he sticks. And again, this is where if you bring in some more good, talented guys, maybe you don't need Glaze. I don't know. I'm not making any statements on that. I'm just saying that why do we have Glaze? Well, because we don't have anybody else. I'm not saying that Glaze is a dog. I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying we don't know. The Raiders are playing who they have because they don't have anybody else. There's no other team in the league that would trot Stone Forsythe and Alex Kappa out there.
Oh my God. And for all you guys to say I play favorites, Forsythe is a Gator, and he is, I'm going to say the S word here, he sucks.
Yeah.
Stone Forsythe sucks.
So listen to this. Listen to this. Suppose you were to end up with, let's say we end up with Francis Malgoa, the offensive tackle out of Miami. Let's say, for instance, we end up with him as the 4th or 5th pick. Let's say we trade up in the first round and end up with John Mateer, the quarterback out of Oklahoma. And let's say that we're still in a good enough position in the second round to draft. And Jack, you're going to love this one. There's another offensive tackle out there that's really good, who I think is going to fall to the second round, by the name of Austin Barber. Now, Austin Barber is out of the University of Florida. He's 6'6", he's 314, and he's got a rating. He's got a rating of 85.7, which is just a little bit behind Jake Slaughter. Now, Jake Slaughter, I think, is going to go. He may go top 10. I think he's definitely going to go top 15. So Slaughter won't be there if the Raiders pick one of those 3 offensive tackles that we've been talking about. Slaughter's not going to be there. Now, if the Raiders do pull the trigger and get Linderbaum, they won't need him anyway. So again, if they decide that JPJ is going to be the guy at center, once again, they won't need him. So I don't think losing out on Slaughter is going to necessarily be a bad thing. But now, if you can come in on the back end of the second round and bring in a guy like Austin Barber, team him up with a guy like Malgoa, the tackle out of Miami, then you've got the 2 guys, Rodgers and Grant, from this year's past draft. Then you've also got JPJ. Then you also have the 2 free agents that you bring in from the offseason. All of a sudden, that Raiders offensive line is looking pretty stout. And now you can start doing some things offensively. Now you can get Ashton Genty into the mix. Now you can maybe get Jack Besh into the offense more. Now maybe you can throw some deep balls to your 2 speedy receivers on the ends. And now Bowers is going to be a nightmare. Not to mention Mayer. So again, I think if you really invest heavily in both the young quarterback and this offensive line and say this is what we're going to commit to, the defense doesn't have to be better than middle of the pack.
Yeah.
There's a lot of NFL teams that have proven that as long as you can have a middle of the pack, middle of the road defense, and the Raiders even proved this in 2021, and it was enough to get them to the playoffs. If you can have a middle of the pack defense and your offense can take off, this team can go places, and they can turn this thing around pretty quick.
Well, here's the problem with that. I'm going to tell you because that sounds great. That is we've solved the Raiders' problems, and it's what I don't know what it's the 4th of December, and you and I have solved the Raiders' problems. We've solved the Raiders' problem. Okay. The problem with us solving that problem is that Pete Carroll's not going to fucking play these guys because Pete doesn't like to play the rookies. And that is why John Spytek needs to go to Mark Davis and say, either he plays the guys that I draft for him and get for him and trade for him and we get in free agency. Either he plays those guys or he gets the fuck out of the building and take his 2 fucking sons with him, which I would prefer, by the way.
I wouldn't mind if he went into Mark Davis's office and said, "You know what, boss? I just want to make I want to make Philbin my interim coach for the rest of the year." Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I like
Send
that.
send the Carroll boys packing early. Let them go ahead and spend Christmas early with their families. So go ahead, let me just go ahead and give you an early holiday. Let's just
Yeah,
let Philbin guide the way. He's not going to be the head coach going forward. This will give me time to assess everything. Give us time to go ahead and get our ducks lined up in a row. I would go ahead and sit Ashton Genty. I would. And again, here's the reason why. It's not that I don't like him. I've heard lots of people saying that Ashton Genty is a bust. Well, it's you can't make any yards when as soon as you get the ball, you got two guys on you 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Genty's going to get killed. And everybody knows if he's going to get the ball, there's penetration there. They need to just sit him down and work something else with the offense. Give Mostert the majority of the carries, or bring somebody else in off the practice squad. Let's get some other people in there. Bring your 3 tight end sets in, run your 13 personnel, get some extra blockers in there, put a tight end next to Grant, let him get some work. Maybe if you run Genty on off tackle plays with 3 blockers, maybe that'll get him some yards there. But I really would sit him down at this point and say, look, we don't want to waste you. We don't want you to get injured. This is shit, and we really need to do better for you, and we will. But we don't want you to get killed in the process.
right. And by the way, Willie Wayne, we're not talking about tanking, but the way this team is constructed right now. Now, listen to me when I say this. I never professed to having the Raiders lose any games. No. And I'm sure that guy is the same way. We don't say we want the Raiders to lose so we have the number 1, 2, or 3 pick. No.
Absolutely not.
But the way this team is constructed right now, with the players they have and the guys that are running the show on the field, notice I said on the field, the guys that are running the show on the field who have not done anything to take the players that the guys that are running the show in the front office gave to them. Nothing. We haven't seen too much of anybody. I actually saw JJ Pegues for a second or two. I looked up on the screen and I saw Pegues. I'm like, wow, it's great to see him actually playing. And I know Hemingway played the game before because he recovered a fumble. Mm-hmm. Darian Porter needs to play more. And so let's go there. We know Rodgers played a little bit. I don't remember seeing Grant last game. I don't recall.
No.
Okay.
No.
So we need to see Rodgers. We need to see Grant. We've seen Genty, and Genty can actually perform when there's fucking people blocking for him. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
So we don't need to tank. We're not capable, as constructed right now and as coached right now, to win games.
And let me piggyback on that and tell you this: even if we win the last 5 games in a row, and finish 7-10, that's still going to garner only a 10th pick in the draft. So again, you're only talking 6 spots lower than where you are right now. But that's not going to happen. The Raiders are not going to run the table. They're probably going to end up with a 4th, 5th, or 6th pick. They could maybe bump up one of those places, but to get one of the top 3 tackles in the draft, I don't think they need to. They can just stay where they are. If they win 1 or 2 more games, again, you may move up 1 or 2 draft spots, but again, you're not looking at any higher than 5th or 6th, which is where they've been drafting lately.
Yeah. Now, it would be nice if they won 7, because then I would win my bet in Vegas. But it's not about me. It's about the team. Right. Seriously. Right. About the team. By the way,
I am never going to be a tanker. I am never going to be one that says, oh, the Raiders need to just lose every game and get the higher draft pick. No. That was not me last year. That when people were saying, oh, we need to just go ahead and lose every game and get the number 1 pick, I kept saying, no, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. That's not what you do as a fan. But also, when you look at the way that this team is constructed, like you and I have said, that doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit you at all.
I didn't see. Did the Cowboys score a field goal or a touchdown? Or I didn't see what they did. I haven't been paying attention.
I will tell you.
I saw that CD Lamb dropped a potential touchdown. I saw that. So
I'm going to pull it up for you here as you're looking here. It's 27-16.
Yeah, I see the score, but I don't know what the Cowboys did on their last possession.
Okay.
I saw that CD Lamb dropped a touchdown or a potential touchdown. But, notwithstanding, we would never, like I said, we would never say tank. The only tank I want to see on this team is Hemingway.
Right.
That's the tank I want to see on this team for sure.
Yeah.
And we can
see
tank.
Well, Jack, I hate to cut this short, but I got school early in the morning, so despite the cold weather. But I hope to get together with you again next week. We'll maybe shed some light on the Denver game, maybe some upcoming light on the Philly game. I thought at one point that I was going to get a chance to travel out there. I know you and I talked about the fact that you're not going, but
No.
I was planning on maybe sliding up the road. But we have some family commitments, so it just so happens that right around the holidays, I'm not going to be able to do that. So that's so be it. I think it's probably a blessing in disguise.
Save yourself some heartbreak, man. Save yourself some heartbreak. I'm going to the Raider game, every Raider game in Vegas. I'm going to see the Bronco game. I'm going to see the Giants game, and I'm going to go see the Chiefs game because I got the hotel rooms and I got the tickets. And by the way, CJ, thank you. Good to see CJ. He's my boy that does boxing along with Angelo. Yeah, nice. Along with Angelo. So CJ, thank you. Appreciate that. Go check out his channel if you want to talk about boxing, and it's good stuff. So yeah, we would never profess the tank. We would never profess the tank. For those that said that, go ahead.
I'm going to give you a bit of sporting news here that's not football related, but it's something that you might find of interest. So LeBron James tonight with the Lakers scored under 10 points for the first time since 2007, ending a 1,297 game streak. How about that?
Wow. The old man definitely needs to retire. I mean, he can't do shit. I'm saying this kind of like tongue in cheek. He's 41, 42.
He's not even 40 yet.
Oh my God. He just, I just feel old. But yeah. He
sprang into the league. He sprang into the league in 2004 as an 18-year-old.
Right. Okay. Well, LeBron, call it a career. Although I think the only LeBron jersey I have is when he was on the Heat, a number 9 jersey, if I'm not mistaken, because it was on sale.
Right.
I'm not a big LeBron James fan. I'm not. I wasn't a big what is it? I got a Michael Jordan finally because I like Michael Jordan. I think I have one Kobe jersey. I'm not sure if it fits or not, but I like Mike. Definitely like Mike. I'm not a big LeBron James fan, and people know that. So, but thank you, CJ, for the $2. I thank you for the $2 just like they have in the movie. But we're gonna have we'll have Fester come back next week as well.
Yep.
And we'll talk about maybe, like you said, the Raiders playing well in the first half, and then just not playing for shit in the second half. Maybe we're wrong.
We'll look for little glimmers. Hopefully, we'll see some younger kids get some burn. We'll see some development. We'll see some things making some progress. Maybe we'll see a conversation between Spytek and Mark Davis. Maybe we'll see some things start to break. Maybe we'll see some other people start to leave who shouldn't be with the team. We'll see if anything happens with the two young Carrolls. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Not while Daddy's still here.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Well, listen, Jack, take care. We'll talk to you again next week. And to all the listeners out there, have a great week. And we will talk to you all later. In the meantime, remember, we are Raiders United right here.
Right. Raiders United. I like that.
Oh, Fester, do this before I leave.
There you go. Hit the lights. Hit the light. Hit the light. It's Raider Fester. T3 Tom Jones, sports guy on YouTube. Blessings to you, sir. Be great. Take care. Wow. So, and as soon as he leaves, people leave the show. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Like, people don't. I mean, I know Fester's a great guy, but it went from 5 viewers to 2. Wow. I don't know. I like the fact, if you like the show, I appreciate you being here. Oh, the Cowboys blocked the kick. Yeah, maybe there's life in them. Oh, it's still the third quarter. And there you go. That Ed Winchell says, thanks, Tom. Bourbon Country, right? God, Bourbon Country. I haven't seen you in forever, brother. Bourbon, I think, wow, I remember. Hey! Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. The last time I remember Bourbon Country being here on the show was during the Super Bowl when the Chiefs won at the very end 2 years ago. Good to see you, sir. It is very good to see you. Bourbon Country Raider. Howdy to you as well, sir. Thank you. Good to see people in here. But remember, I will get back to it. If you want to have a balcony cabin, I wish I had her email address. But a balcony cabin for 2 for less than $1,000 on the Raiders Legends Cruise. Not the Raiders Cruise. It's not the Raiders Cruise. Get that out of your head. For less than $1,000, you can have an accommodation for 2. An accommodation for 2 balcony cabin out of Long Beach to Ensenada, back to Long Beach, May 15th through 18th of next year. I'm like, wow, I'm definitely going on that. I put, and you don't have to pay for it all at once. You just need to have a deposit. If you're interested, nobody seems to be interested, but if you're interested, my email or send a message to me on YouTube, send a message to me on Facebook, send a message to me on Instagram. If you're interested, I'm going. It'll be the first time being underway since I retired from the Navy. And that's not a lot. So let's see if the Cowboys can, they got 17 minutes to score 14 points, but they can't give up anymore either. 17 minutes to score 14 points. We'll see. And we are not tanking. If you want to talk on the show, I'll put the link up. See, oh, nice pass. Prescott to, I don't know who that is. Flournoy. Okay. Prescott to Flournoy. Okay. Remember, the Raiders Legends Cruise hit the link. If you want to come into the show, hit the link. The link is there. The StreamYard link. And it's amazing because normally Matt Marinovich is here. Maybe Matt's got something going on. I don't know. There's usually a couple other people here. But maybe I've become more vitriolic, if that's a word. Full of vitriol, full of hate and discontent. But they're no longer joining our show. I can't be. Oh wow! So Pickens on the offensive pass interference. Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't Pickens. It was holding on one of the Dallas tackles. Let's see here. Thomas at left tackle. Of course, he's against Hutchinson. Wow, man. Oh, that's really, they call it holding on that? That was ticky. Tack. So 2nd and 19 for the Cowboys at the 45 of the line. Nice catch in traffic by the tight end. Yeah, really a tight end there. Can't remember his name. Detroit has a run game. I know Willie Wayne, but like I said, I just said, you know what? I thought, and again, remember, I normally support the Trois Lions from Michigan, but I made a bet. I made a $50 bet. So far, it's not happening. Oh, okay, that's a nice pass. Okay, is that an offensive pass interference by Flournoy? The way everybody's looking, I guess he might have pushed off, or maybe Pickens ran a pick, pun intended. Pass interference, Cowboys. Yep. So it was either a pick by Pickens. I'll see who it is. Yeah, Pickens. So let's see. I know it's not over. Yeah, that's a pick. That's a pick. It's a little too. Yeah, I was. I don't say it was ticky tack, but it was. I don't know how they call that. I mean, he was trying to fight through. So anyway, 3rd and 19. Dak back to pass. Incomplete and no flag. I think he was like all over his back. Yes, I'm biased. But anyway, if you'd like to talk, I put the link up in the. I'll put it on here again. Remember the Raiders Legends Cruise, May 15th through 18th. Oh, okay, they're going for a kick. Let's see. 62, and it looks, is it there? It is there. 63-yarder. Down to 8 points, making it interesting. Oh, and it would have, well, wow, it could have been like 55, 65, 66. It was quite long. So it's not over. I mean, again, I don't particularly like the Cowboys, but it'd be nice to double my money. So we are watching the game here. Let's see here. Let's see, my bet. Oh, see, yeah, my early cash out is now down to $15. Nope, down to $14. Maybe it'll come up. But yeah, I'll go through. I'll do the full 50. We are watching. We are watching. I will finish with the. I will finish with the. If you would like to come into the show, please hit up the StreamYard. Hit up the show. If you don't want, that's fine too. But I will finish packing. I got an early flight. I'm going to 3 more Raider games. I am not going to 4 more Raider games. Excuse me. I am not going to Philly, but I am going to all 3 Raiders games in Vegas, and I will go out to Houston. I'm going to 4 more games. I haven't given up on the season. I'd like to see some life. I'd like to see some life with the crew. That's all I want to see. I want to see some life. I want to see something to make me proud. Thank you, Willie Wayne. Appreciate. Yeah, good trip to Vegas. It's Navajo on the Go's birthday this weekend, so I will be hanging out with Navajo on the Go and his sister Sheila and part of their crew. They have a dinner on Friday. I'm hoping to make arrangements to get out to LA for the Phillies at Dodgers game the end of May. Remember, I am going on the cruise 15th through 18th of May next year. I am going to be in where? I'm going to go to Pittsburgh for the draft. So I got things to do. And I'm always positive, but I can positively say that if Pete does not go through with putting in the players that Spytek as general manager is providing for him, then Pete needs to go. I'm just saying Pete needs to go. That's just the way it is. And I'm a big fan of Pete Carroll. But if you don't want to come into the show, I don't see anybody coming in. I'll give it another 4 minutes. Come into the show, come into the show, come into the show. I don't want to let somebody say, hey, I was there after you didn't come in. I'll give you time. Just watching what's going on here. Yeah, Dallas is only down 8. Yeah, but there's a first down for the Lions. They're going to run some more clock. So we're going to go into the fourth quarter with what they're doing. I will say this, if this is not the last thing I say on this show, we'll see. I want to see somebody besides Geno Smith at quarterback this weekend. I want to see I'd like to see AOC 12, but I don't know if he's fully back yet. I'd like to see Kenny Pickett. I'd like to see Cam Miller play. And I'm hoping that you are correct, Willie Wayne. Brady and Spytek will have a talk with Pete. Pete, either play the kids or leave. And honestly, I hate saying it. No, I don't. I don't hate saying it. Pete, you got to go and bring your 2 kids with you. You got to go and bring your 2 kids with you. That needs to be said. Needs to be said. So don't look. It looks like we're not going to be joined by anybody else. That's fine. Y'all have a great weekend. I will be getting ready to go pack out the rest of my stuff. We'll see you Sunday after the game. Oh, yeah, Will and Wayne Pete is done. And if he's done, then he needs to go now. He needs to go now. We need to start the process now. Not after the season. We need to start it now. So we'll see y'all on the next stream on Sunday. Take care. Remember, I am a Raiders fan. I forever will be a Raiders fan. I don't talk about different players that I wish we could have drafted because we didn't draft them. I don't talk about players I wish we would have gotten free agency because we didn't get them in free agency. I'll talk about the players that are there and who's playing for the team. That's what I want to talk about. So we'll see y'all on Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. I know I'm going to have fun in Vegas. Y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you.